Hey guys, so today we're making the viral flat croissant. Please make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Let's get started with the recipe. And so I had no idea that this was a thing. My husband usually tells me what's trending because I am probably the worst when it comes to social media. But anyway, we're going to start with this is probably a half a stick of some butter. And then I'm going to add in a couple tablespoons of some light brown sugar. And I'm just going to mix all of this together. Make sure that your butter is nice and soft so that this can blend up fairly easily. And so you want it to be able to spread on top of the croissants. And so I'm going to put that to the sides. I do have some croissants that I bought from my local grocery store. And so I'm just going to use a rolling pin to flatten them out. And this was really simple. I feel like this is something you can do with your kids if you have kids. And so I'm just going to flatten all of these croissants. And so I have 6 total. And they're kind of, I want to say on the smaller side. So if you have larger croissants, you can use whatever size you want. And so I'm just using whatever chocolates I have at home, okay? Because we ain't going to the store. And so I have some mini semi-sweet chocolate chips as well as some dark chocolate chips. And then I'm going to add in a little bit of some coconut oil, and I'm going to microwave this in 30-second intervals until the chocolate is nice and melted. And you want to make sure that you check it after each 30-second interval and stir it up just so that you don't scorch your chocolate. And so I am going to put that butter and sugar mixture on my flattened croissant, and I'm going to place it into a hot skillet. And you want to make sure that you stand next to your stove, okay? I am putting a piece of parchment paper along with another skillet on top of this, just to help it to crystallize. But again, you want to make sure that you watch this because it can burn really easily, especially since it has that sugar in there. And so this is a prime example of why you need to stay near your stove. But anyway, this is me stirring it up, my chocolate up after 30 seconds, and then I'm going to put it back in the microwave. And again, this is really simple. I think the main thing here is to make sure you don't burn the croissant because of the sugar. But I only, scorched the first 2. I mean, I wouldn't even consider it scorched. They got a little darker than the other ones. But I'm just gonna use my melted chocolate and dip half of the croissant in there. And so you can use whatever chocolate you want. I wish I had some white chocolate just to kind of offset it with the color, but here we are. I'm using what I got at home. You can use whatever decorations you want. I'm using whatever Christmas sprinkles I got at home. But I think this would be really good with like some dried fruit. I wish I had like some dried pineapples or something like that just to kind of offset the sweetness, because this is a pretty rich treat. And so here I go with my sprinkles. I do have some nice flaky salt that I'm going to put on there. I was able to find these no added sugar dried cherries in my cabinet. So I just chopped some of those up and put them on there. You can put some raisins on there. I don't know, whatever you got in your cabinet, just put it on there. I'm basically, the kitchen sink is whatever I'm putting on here. And so I'm just going to drizzle some more chocolate on there. Again, I wish it was white chocolate so that it can offset it with color. But I'm gonna place this in the freezer just so that it can harden up. And so I do have some creamy peanut butter here that I just melted in the microwave for about 20 to 30 seconds. And so for my other 3 croissants, I just dipped it in the chocolate, and I'm gonna top it off with some of those mini chocolate chips that I have, some flaky salt, and then I am going to drizzle my creamy peanut butter on top. And then I'm going to top it off with some of those dried cherries. And then I do have some whole roasted peanuts that I'm going to kind of crush up and put on top of there as well. And I probably should have cut them up so that they could be a little bit smaller. But I was trying to crumble it up with my hands, which was a total fail. But I think this would be good with like some hazelnuts too. I can see that being good. But this is the finished product, you guys. These were absolutely delicious. I did take a bite of the one with the peanuts on it, and it was so good and buttery and sweet, very decadent. But I hope you guys enjoy this recipe. Please make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.